Hello and welcome to ThomasGeigerCar. Today with a car we've been waiting for a very long time. The electric version of the Mercedes G-Class. We've seen the prototypes of the EQG crawling and G-turning all over the world. But now the final production car is here, hitting the market towards the second half of the year. If you want to know all the details about that car, join me on my first walk around and I'll tell you all about it. When electrifying the G-Class, the engineers had two major challenges. The one is keeping the off-road capability on the extremely high level of the internal combustion engine. And the other one is the range. How to make a car go a long way with a size, a shape and a weight like that. You can't do a lot against the weight, especially if you put in a big battery. So this car weighs more than 3 tons. And it has the shape of a shipping container, so you can't do a lot against drag coefficient as well. But the engineers accepted the challenge and did quite a hard work. You can't see it with the blank eye, but if you look into the detail, you really see some significant differences. The one is the black panel grille. That's a design theme because it looks like the other EQ models. So you have this LED lightning bar around the 3-pattern star and you have a better drag coefficient. If you don't like it, you can still get the traditional grille, but if you want it, you have better drag coefficient and the better looks. The other thing is the new bonnet. It looks a bit like an AMG bonnet because it's more muscular, it's a little bit raised, but it's only for the electric version and it leads the wind in a smoother way above the windshield and it helps to bring the drag coefficient down. While the standard car has 0.53, the electric version has 0.44, which is quite a significant difference and brings you lots of kilometers further. If we go around the vehicle, there are some other differences as well. For example, these cut-ins in the fender that leads the air into the wheel arch around the wheel, making an air curtain and making the car even more efficient. Yes, there are some details for aero efficiency, but size and shape of the vehicle is exactly the same as with the standard car. And that is mainly to maintain the off-road capabilities. Ground clearance, for example, is the same 25 centimeters as with the ICE car. And even with the battery in the floor, the car is capable for everything. There is a carbon shield underneath the battery, which is strong enough to hold the whole car, so you can crawl rocks with it without any doubt. And if you weight the water, the electric vehicle is even better than the combustion engine. While the combustion engine is limited to 70 centimeters of water, which is still quite impressive, the electric version can cross rivers of 85 centimeters of depth. And if you follow me around to the back, you can see another big difference. I would say the biggest difference of all. The design box. Finally, you have a dedicated space for your charging cable. While the EQE models still have no frunk and you don't know where to put your cable, in the electric G-Class there is room for it. And there is another very small detail that I want to point out. Look at the plate. It's called G580. No EQ mentioned anymore. Yes, it's EQ technology, but the brand EQ, the sub-brand EQ, now is history. From now on, all the electric cars will be named as the model line. So there will be an S-Class in the future, petrol or electric, an E-Class, an SUV, whatever. EQ is history and there is no better car to start with that strategy than the G-Class. We've been talking a lot about the looks and about the feels, but the main thing is the technology, and this is really unique and special. This is not a platform car. This is a purpose-built electric G-Class, which means Mercedes have put in completely new motors, a completely new technology. We have 4 motors, one for each wheel. Each motor 108 kilowatts makes 432 kilowatts or 588 horsepower in the old currency, and delivering a torque of 1164 Newton meters. Yes, this car weighs more than 3 tons, but it accelerates like a sports car. 0 to 100 in less than 5 seconds, and top speed is 180. Not as fast as the combustion engines, but pretty fast for an EV. The energy for that comes from a battery of 116 kilowatt hours that can be charged with 200 kilowatts DC or only 11 kilowatts AC, what is not really premium. But the battery is very capable and delivers a range of more than 460 kilometers in the European cycle and almost 600 kilometers in the Chinese cycle. And as I told you, it is really important for Mercedes that this car is off-road capable to its best. That's the reason why Mercedes has put in a 2-gearbox for the electric motors, so you can go quick and fast on the motorway and you can crawl rocks like no other electric vehicle before. And there are 2 special features integrated as well that we've seen when we rode in the prototypes. The one is the G-Crawl, where this vehicle can really go very smooth and very slow in every angle. And the other is the famous G-Turn. You put the button and the car goes like a merry-go-round, and it's really fancy and you're the star everywhere. While we can spot some small but significant differences between the combustion version and the electric version from the outside, the interior stays the same. Yes, we have some new folders on the digital cockpit that shows us battery range and stuff like that, and we have an app where we can organize charging and precondition the vehicle, but the rest is pretty much the same. Recently updated with the ICE versions. That means we have a new steering wheel, we have the 2 digital displays behind the steering wheel with the latest version of MBUX, and we have the new center console with the ventilated and heated or cooled cup holders, with the wireless charging pad, with lots of connectors for USB, HMDI and all the stuff. And we have that new console here with the same off-road cockpit as we have it in the ICE versions. No, there are not 3 diff locks anymore, but the same buttons are now used for the low-range function for the electrical engines and the G-Turn and the G-Crawl. And if we look at the rear seat, we have the same functions as in the S-Class with the big rear seat infotainment system. So same upgrade, same update as the combustion engines. Thanks for joining me on that first walk around with the electrified Mercedes G-Class, a car that is really unique. It has always been unique and it will stay unique because it stays true to itself and is ready for the future. Yes, this future will have a price, and the price tag in Europe is an estimated 180,000 euros. But it's worth it because it is an icon and it has the power to stay stronger than time. Thank you, Tschüsschen, Seitchen, and goodbye.